I'm John Honeycutt, a doctoral student at the School of Behavioral Health Sciences, Liberty University. This presentation is about strengths-based education and searching for an easy-to-implement strengths-based intervention for upper grades. Now, Jesus was the ultimate strengths-based leader that we could think of. He found the strengths in even the weakest of us. Also, in both the New and the Old Testaments, we find instances that admonish us to raise up our children well. Now, the what of this presentation is clearly around strengths-based, but also it's the easy to implement is an operative expression here. It's an educational intervention that is likely to be under-recognized, underrated, or underused. And so that particular intervention will serve as our treatment. The research that you'll look at in just a moment helped to uncover some potential treatments. What I'm imagining is both a pre and post test after the treatment has been administered, and potentially a concurrent group that is measured before and after. It will be a simple repeated measure of analysis of variance, where the null hypothesis would be that all of the means equal each other. But more likely than not, what we're really hoping for is that the post-test on the group that receives the treatment will have better measurable results. Taking this through some analysis, the total sample size appears to be about 34 as recommended by the tool, which would be 17 students per class approximately. The initial 35 documents that were identified through the Jerry Falwell Library were found by using these four expressions concatenated with these four expressions, and about 200 documents were found that met those criteria. Of those 35, 10 were selected for analysis last week. Now, I'm not going to go through all 10 of them, but I have selected 5 that I think are relevant to this discussion. In positive psychology, there was clear evidence on this meta-analysis that strengths-based approaches are becoming increasingly relevant. For positive relationships, this particular document is the closest to what I'm imagining for this particular experiment. It used a rather involved set of circumstances and interventions, which I'm hoping to find some that are easier to implement than these. On rates of praise, this is very much a strengths-based type of teaching. It was conducted with elementary students, and even though the main aim of this piece of research was not about comparing general versus specific praise, a finding, an ancillary finding, was that specific praise to youth from their teachers is more powerful than general praise. Now, this piece was very detailed. It used, I think it's called genome analysis, and it was a bit difficult to follow, except for that the end result was this particular tool is absolutely correlates with some well-known tools that are listed. It's probable that the first 10 of those items are going to be helpful in designing this piece of research I have in mind. The final one, cognitive education, is very similar to what we call 21st century skills. Now, this was performed not in the US, but the takeaway here was that interventions with young teachers were helpful in them being better strengths-based teachers. So the summaries are that absolutely there's an increasing interest in strengths-based teaching. Relationships can be improved between teachers and students through interventions. Resilience, the Resilience Protective Factor Checklist has 26 items. 10 of those items I think are possibly relevant to this research. On praise, there was an observation set that was used, which is different than what I'm imagining, but the findings and the measurement of praise was relevant. And lastly, cognitive education is something that is related to this topic. These three items, relationships, resilience, and praise, are the most relevant to what I am hoping to further document, and our references are shown here. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a blessed day.